Well, welcome to our LifePoint Extra podcast. We are here with Darren today.
Yeah.
First time guest on the
I'm
pod.
here.
Yep.
Big
Darren,
Papa T Money.
Big Papa T Money. Let's go T Money.
I don't know. Most people don't like to say my name, what I discovered in my life.
Yep.
And so I'm either D Money, D Pop, D Popopotamus. My lyrics are bottomless. I'll bring it to you.
Yo, come on. Well, I'm calling you D Money now for the rest of your life.
All right.
Darren is new on staff with us, and you just preached at our Marysville location this morning.
I did. Yeah, 1 month celebrated on Friday. So men's event was awesome.
Yep.
And then I got the chance to preach at Marysville this morning. It was a good time.
The men's event was pretty cool.
It was phenomenal.
If you weren't there or you didn't see on social media, we literally had the Kingdom's old field goal. So the Seahawks used to play in the Kingdom. We found it on Facebook
It was
Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace, man. It was there, and we said we need it. And then we didn't know how we were going to put it up.
Yeah.
But we figured it out, and I smashed my finger. It was great.
Yeah.
It's in the air. So
Yeah, Dave Nelson that spoke, he's been on the pod before, but he saw it and he was like, how'd you guys get this up? Like, did you guys hire a team, like your contractor or whatever? And Rusty's like, no, just a bunch of LifePoint dads just got together.
Is that what I'm known as LifePoint dads?
Yeah,
all right, that's great.
You're LifePoint dad. Well, before we get going, I want to do a little bit of like a this or that, kind of bring it back to, you used to be a youth pastor. And so this or that, get to know you a little bit, and I'll just rattle some off and we can do a little speed round.
Let's go.
So first one here, I think it's the most important one. Coffee or tea?
Coffee always.
Yeah.
Coffee always. In the morning, black. In the afternoon, we can have a food drink with a little oat milk.
Yep.
Coffee.
Yeah. In the morning, you kind of need something a little sharp, something that will slap you in the face.
I don't need the sugar in the morning. I just need the caffeine.
Yep.
Just deliver it.
All right. Beach vacations or mountain getaway?
Ooh. I'd say beach. I do enjoy the beach. I enjoy Hawaii. It was great. So I do love getting on the beach. I've lived in a lot of mountainous areas, so I could do that too. But
I like the beach except for the sand. Like the sand part's my least favorite.
Yeah, but that's like everywhere.
Yeah, I know. And it gets everywhere.
In your shorts, in your hair, like in your ears, your nose. It's everywhere.
Yeah. All right. Cats or dogs?
Obviously cats.
I was not expecting
No, I got a cat at home, and cats are the best. They take care of themselves for the most part. You just got to put some food in there, and they're good to go.
I mean,
and they'll give you affection when they need it. Dogs are like, give me. Cats are like, hey, we're cool. We're roommates. It's awesome. It's great.
Yep. Okay, so pizza or tacos?
Oh man, it's a
That's
good
a
question.
hard one.
It's a good question. Younger Darren would say pizza is my favorite food, and I would still say that. I unfortunately can't do dairy anymore. It's very sad. And so pizza, which is the best food delivery system in the world.
Right.
Dough, cheese, goodness, sauce. Unfortunately, I can't eat too much pizza. So I would go with tacos now.
Yeah.
And if you do tacos right, you don't need cheese.
So explain that. Doing tacos right.
Doing tacos right means you have good meat. So I make, birria tacos.
Let's go.
And I make birria tacos that don't need the queso, because everyone's like, you go to a place, I don't want queso birria tacos. Yeah. No, like a good birria, cooked up for 4 hours.
Do you get the soup that you can dump?
Oh yeah, the consomme. It's called consomme.
Okay.
You dip that in there, and then it's so good.
Yeah, I'm a consume it. So, all right, let's jump into your message today.
That was great, consume it.
Thank you.
Sorry, I just hit me way too late on that one.
So, in your message today, you emphasized raising the spiritual temperature in our own lives.
Yeah.
What practical steps can we take this week to intentionally increase our spiritual engagement, and how we can help others do the same? But also maybe first start by talking about what does it mean to actually raise the temperature?
Yeah. In life and just in your homes and outside, your beverages, whatever it is, if you just let it sit, it's going to tend towards the path of, just being stagnant.
Yeah.
Right. As far as, the temperature. And the same thing goes with our spiritual life. If we're not actively trying to stoke the fires of it, if we're not actively trying to build our faith or build our spiritual journey, then we're naturally going to lean off, right? I mean, the Bible says, that in Revelation talks about these lukewarm believers of God, right? Yeah. And how that discuss God almost in that way of like when we live in that wishy-washy place. And so either, that says be either hot or cold. And so when we talk about raising our spiritual temperature, it's building and leading ourselves in a way that, hey, we're looking at our lives. How can I get closer to the Lord this week? What can I do this week to grow deeper? And we talked about that, and we'll talk about it more in Marysville, both here and in there, about prayer, being that perfect place to start.
Yeah. Yeah. And so how then, if that's what that is, how can we then like help others in that, like in our families, at our work? Like it starts with us, it sounds like, but then how do we be effective, do you think, to like spread that out to other people?
Yeah. I mean, the best way to accurately represent Jesus is by living a life that looks like Jesus.
That's good.
And so as you do that, as you live that life, as you look more like him, you get closer to him in communication and in relationship with him, you start to look like him, just like we start to look like the people that we hang out with the most, right? I mean, we start to hang out with Rusty for a little while. We start, spiking our hair up front, and we, end up looking awesome.
That's really fine. So sorry, but I got new glasses this week at Costco, and I was debating on getting the glasses that change tint.
Okay.
And because Rusty has those glasses that, like, when you go outside, they change tint. But I'm just like, nah, I'm not that old.
Oh, jeez.
Just kidding.
No, I mean, but we do start to look like the people we're hanging out with. And if Jesus is number one in our life, we should start looking like Jesus by how we interact with others, by how we love others, by how we speak to our kids, our family, by how we speak to our coworkers, by how we, just live our lives. And then that opening our lives up to people by living authentically our faith and our spiritual journey, they want to know what's different. Right? They want to know why we have hope in hopelessness. They want to know why we have joy in suffering. They want to know why we're holding it together in the midst of a crazy crisis storm of our life. And we can say, hey, I'm walking this out with the greatest power. That's Jesus. And he's walking with me in this situation.
Yeah, that's really good. So in your message, you highlighted that prayer is our most powerful resource.
Yeah.
In what ways have you personally experienced the impact of prayer in your life, and how can we overcome common barriers that make prayer feel difficult or awkward? Like, what has helped you in that?
Yeah, it's just, a little snapshot of my story. I lost my dad at 13, and so I lost that father figure in my life. I lost that person who I could look up to. And when I truly grabbed a hold of God as my father, right, where I'd lost that in my earthly father, and some people, they might not have that relationship with their earthly father even now. They might have had an abusive relationship. They might have had a distant relationship. They never even met their dad. I know plenty of people that way. But when I transitioned that thought in my mind as God as my father, that began to change my relationship with him, right? That he was there, even though my father was gone, that he does care, that he sees me, that he knows me, that he wants to, he wants me to be his son. And that changed that dynamic for me personally. And so walking that out and then knowing that, he cares and he wants to be involved in my life. So it's been that's what's changed for me. And seeing him as my father, my good father.
Yeah, that's so good. And then for those people that kind of, feel like it's challenging to pray. Like, let's say somebody's listening right now and they listen to the message in Marysville and they have somewhat of a prayer life, but mainly only consists of at the dinner table or, maybe
come Lord Jesus, be our guest and may this food to us be blessed.
Yeah. And then, thank you. But it doesn't go past that. And there's this almost like barrier that, whether it's awkward, whether it's like when I pray, I'm saying thy and thou, and it's like not real. And like, who I am, like, how would you encourage those people to maybe break down those barriers?
How do you talk to your spouse or your best friend?
That's good.
How do you have communication with somebody you care about, or how do you get to know somebody if you're just getting to know them?
Yeah,
you ask questions, or you begin to have conversation. And I joke about it, but when I get to heaven, my hope is that God has a scoreboard for my life. How many times I attempted to dunk a basketball and missed, which is every time. How many times I threw a frisbee into a tree playing disc golf. Things like that. But I hope that there's a scoreboard in heaven that it says gives me kind of my most prayed prayers. And I think about that, and I'm like, number one on my list was gonna be this prayer: Lord, help me. I'm like, Lord, help me, like, because that's how I go into a lot of situations, circles I don't know, but that's how I've gotten to, as like, just like you go to your dad, help, I need help. My kids come to me, they need help. The Lord help me. And so for you at home that's trying to figure that out or start that journey, start small, start having conversation just as you're going through your daily life. Get in your car and say, God, be with me today as I drive to work.
That's good.
And the next day, God, be with me as I drive to work. Show me what you see, right? Start having those conversations. And then it just becomes like, sometimes I'm just walking around the hallway or whatever at work, and it's just like, something pops in my head and someone, and I'm praying for them. I'm thinking about, I'm sending them up to the Lord. Like, hey, like be with my buddy Colin right now. I don't know what he's going through, but he came to my mind for some reason. So God, would you work in his life? It kind of begins to work that direction.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I want to talk about this real quick, but like, maybe that person has done those things and they've prayed, but they feel discouraged praying. Maybe they haven't seen God answer prayers the way that they want them to be answered. What would you then say to that person?
Yeah, that's where we would allow ourselves to lean into selfishness, right? Like me, God. And that's where, like in the Lord's Prayer that I talked about, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's a tough prayer to pray.
Yeah.
Because that means that I'm taking myself out of the situation and I'm like saying, God, you're in control. Right, your kingdom come. And the best way I've seen this happen in my life, especially when God's not answering my prayers, because I'm a pastor, but God doesn't, I don't necessarily have like the right, I go to God, he hears me, but it's not because, I have a Bible degree, been a pastor for so many years, like that he hears me more. No, I've had those prayers that I'm still praying, that haven't been answered for 10, 20 years. And the way that I'm encouraged in my prayer journey is by surrounding myself with others that are on a prayer journey and praying with others and seeing God's goodness in their life. And then me responding not selfishly, like, oh, I wish God would answer my prayers that way. But saying, God, thank you for how you're answering their prayers. God, thank you for what you're doing in their lives. Thank you for changing the circumstance and seeing it. And I like to say it's like the please and thank yous of prayer. Like, when Paul says it in Philippians 4, he's like, thank God, ask God for what you need, but then thank him for all that he has done. So we ask, but also we're doing the pleases and thank yous of prayer.
Yeah.
And it's in that we truly begin to see and start thanking God for even the small things. Right. If you're not seeing God in those big prayers, those big things that you're walking in, thank God for your next breath. Thank God for your next meal. Thank God for your children, for your time that you have with your spouse. Like start thanking God, and then you'll start to see God answering even more prayers because you're like, I prayed that and that happened.
Yeah. No, and it shows the relational side of this thing, that it's not just like I'm trying to cash in my prayer and get it answered.
There's no exact formula or the right combination of words that's going to instigate God to really step into my process and my situation. But no, authentic relationship with him will do that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so good.
And last question here, the importance of forgiveness was a key point in the sermon today. Can you share your thoughts on how practicing forgiveness, both giving it and receiving it, can transform our relationships with others and deepen our connection with God?
Yeah, I said it this morning. The most powerful statement you'll ever say is also one of the most powerful prayers you'll ever pray is, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Parents, if you can go to your kids and you mess up, I know you do because I do and we all do. Please forgive me, son. Go to your spouse, please forgive me. Go to God, please forgive me. And when we begin to walk that out and realize, one, that forgiveness is undeserved kindness, undeserved mercy. And when we recognize that Jesus gave that to us first, and I recognize that my filthy self, my dust bag self, God died for, I'm more willing to give out forgiveness in return. And that doesn't mean, there are things in life that do hurt us and destroy us. And, people always say, oh, forgive and forget. No, we don't forget. We're human.
Right.
God has given us the ability to have memory and to do that, but we can forgive and we can move forward. Right. And sometimes that means forgiving today and then forgiving tomorrow and forgiving the next day. Jesus talks about forgiveness and he gives a number to it. He says 7 times 77. And it's like, that's a big number, but that was to extrapolate and to say to the disciples, hey, we should be offering and living and moving in forgiveness. And the way I like to say it, because as a pastor, people are like, oh, I want to see a miracle in my life. I want to see God's miraculous hand. I want the miraculous to happen. And the best way that I love to say it, and the way I've seen it, is we get to experience the miraculous through giving and receiving forgiveness. Right? That's the easiest. Hear this, it's not easy, but that's one of the best ways and the easiest ways we can see a miracle is by realizing we've been forgiven and giving forgiveness away. It's a powerful thing. It changes dynamic, and that's why we need community. Right. That's why we need each other, because that's where I go and I do, like James says, confess my sins to one another. Right. That we can be healed, that we can be saved. And I realize that as I do that together, and I walk out repentance, and I find accountability, and I find people to walk with me. That's the true life that God's called us to.
Yeah. No, it's a game changer. I'm going to butcher the saying, but holding back that forgiveness is like yourself drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Yep. Every time, man, you're just holding on to it. And it's like a cancer in our bones. It's like you said, a poison.
Yeah.
It's all those things. It's like gray hair creeping into my head, you know, it's just, you can't stop it.
Yeah. Couldn't be me. Well, Darren, thank you for joining us. I'm glad that we got a little bit extra out of your sermon, and I hope that this helps somebody listening today. And so thankful for you joining us. So
yeah, glad to be here. Go Jesus.
Go Jesus. Team Jesus. Go Hogs. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date with all of our Extra with LifePoint episodes.